Has video games become a problem for you? Do you think you might have an addiction, but you don't really know? In today's episode, I have 10 questions that you can ask yourself to help you discover if you truly have a video game addiction. Hello, my name is Kelly, and I am an addicted gamer, and I'm grateful to be in recovery. I am helping other addicted gamers get to the next level in their lives instead of in the games. And welcome to the Game is Over podcast. And in this podcast, I'm documenting my journey of taking video games out of my life. I'm sharing my failures, my successes, and the lessons I have learned as I take myself to higher levels in my own life. So let's jump right into the questions. Now I'm going to answer some of these questions for myself, and hopefully that helps you to just help you discover if you truly have a video game addiction. So number one, do you neglect following through in your responsibilities and obligations in favor of gaming? For me, this is very true. When I was playing video games, I really neglected my family duties, helping my wife raise our children, and I really there were some things that I did, but for the most part, my wife raised our children. And I was there, but I wasn't truly present, at least not 100% of the time. I mean, you don't have to be truly present 100% of the time, I get that. But I wasn't there enough. So number two, have you lost interest in habits and activities that you used to like as a result of your gaming? For me, this was true. Some of the habits that I had before I was gaming, I used to go outside a lot and do work in the outside, like around the house. I love to do that. I lost interest in actually the camping trips with my family. On the camping trips, I was more involved with trying to read about video games or playing video games that I could play on my phone, rather than spending the time with my kids or spending the time with helping set up the camp or spending time to do some of those things that are normally involved in a camping trip. And I really truly love being outdoors. I really truly lost some of that when I was addicted to video games. Number three, have you tried unsuccessfully to cut back on your gaming time? This is one that really resonates with me. There were many times where I would say, you know what, I'll just play for an hour at the end of the day. And when I was discovering that video games were taking over my life, I tried this many times. And I would say, yes, I'll just play for an hour, and then I will get ready for bed and I'll go to bed. And what ended up happening is that hour, when that was over, I would even set an alarm, and when that hour was over, I just say, oh, I just need to go a little bit longer, and we're gonna go longer, and it would go longer. And what it ended up happening is it would end up being 2 or 3 hours, and I'd lose those 2 or 3 hours of time that I really needed to sleep, for instance. So yes, the answer to number 3 for me is yes. Number 4, do you reach out for video games to escape or cope with anxiety, guilt, hopelessness, and other negative feelings? This one is a kind of a tough one. And I'm saying it's tough because I didn't recognize it in the moment, but in reflection, I really truly think, especially boredom, and I didn't say that in the question, but I was truly bored. I don't think I ever had anxiety, but there was a little bit of hopelessness. There was a little bit of guilt, and the games helped me to escape from all those negative feelings that I had. It allowed me to zone out and ignore those feelings. And number 5, have you ever found yourself spending more time playing video games and or looking for more complex or stimulating games to get to levels of excitement you used to experience? And what I mean by this is, do the games, the way you originally play, do you have to just keep getting into, let's just say, higher levels or getting into more complex games because you find yourself being bored with the games that you used to play? Meaning they don't stimulate you as much as it did, so you have to just get more heavily involved and just get yourself to higher levels, and which consequently makes you invest more time into the video games. For me, this was not necessarily true. I kind of got stuck in the same old pattern and just kind of looking after it. For me, it was more about investing in more time, and we'll see it in a future question, investing more money into the games as well. So for me, I don't think I really sought out more games. I just sought out more time with the games to try to get myself to higher levels. So number 6, have you ever jeopardized or lost a significant relationship or job or an educational or career opportunity because of your participation in video gaming? And for me, that's definitely true. Definitely true. I could have worked on myself a lot earlier. I'm over 50 years old, and I'm in this position I am in right now. I'm very grateful to be in this position. I love what I'm doing right now, creating these videos. But yeah, there were some missed opportunities, many missed opportunities along the way. I kind of was stuck in the same kind of a job, and I ended up not really loving that job anymore. But I stayed in it because I needed to at the moment. There was no other option for me. So yes, I did jeopardize, and I did ask about relationships as well. And for me, this is where it really hit home. I lost relationships with my wife and my kids that I truly cannot really get back. I mean, I can. Sorry. Yes, I really can. I can get those back. There's still an opportunity to do that. But that time I could have spent with my kids and with my wife when I was instead playing video games. I truly lost some very precious time. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Number 7, do you feel guilty or ashamed about the amount of time you spend playing video games? Definitely. Definitely for me, there was some guilt. There was some shame around the amount of time I spent playing video games. Even when I was doing it. And I hearken back to this question number 3 about cutting back on my gaming time unsuccessfully. I ended up going to bed late, and that wasn't healthy for my relationships. And in the next morning, I always felt this kind of, oh, why did I just play so long? what happened? So definitely, there was a lot of guilt and shame, and I was very hesitant to talk to people about my gaming. My family all knew I was a gamer. Not just my immediate family, but my extended family as well. They all knew that I was playing video games and that's what I'd like to do. And it was okay, it was casual, it was fine. But I really didn't want to talk about it. I really didn't resonate with anybody else. And for number 8, do you think playing video games is a dominant activity in your daily life? Ask yourself, in the last 12 months, have you spent more than a third of that time of each day gaming? That's to say, greater than 8 hours every day. Is that become a dominant activity for you? And for me, I don't think I was ever greater than 8 hours. There were definitely some days, let's say on the weekend, where I had the time off. There were some days like that, but it wasn't normal for me. So during the week, I would go to work, so that would spend a lot of time with that. And it was after dinner time that I would just go to the video games and not spend the time with the family. So yeah, there were instances where I was gaming longer than 8 hours in a day, but it was basically on the weekends. And that's still unhealthy. The weekends should have been for me and discovering who I was. And number 9, do you think about playing video games all the time? Even when you're not gaming? Do you often think about the next time that you're going to get to play? Or are you reliving past gaming experiences? So we all know there are things that we have to do and we can't get out of them. We have to go to work. We have to do some social activities. Hopefully some of you do have some measure of social activities that you should attend, or maybe sometimes your wife makes you go, or maybe sometimes your parents make you go to somewhere and you can't play video games. But when you're there, are you truly present with what's going on? And for me, that's definitely true. I talked about my camping trips. I talked about how I was preoccupied. I was there, but I wasn't truly present in those moments because I was thinking about past gaming experiences, or maybe my next one. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to be able to just sit down and just relax and play video games. So yes, that one is also true for me. So number 10, have you continued to play games even though you are experiencing negative consequences, such as lack of sleep, being late to school or work, spending too much money, maybe having arguments with others, or neglecting important duties? So this is what it all summarizes. Question number 10 is the negative consequences. And when we are experiencing these negative consequences and we continue to game, continue to go down that downward spiral, then we have to take some action. Then we have to do something about it. For me, right now, the last time I played a video game was back in November of 2023. I'm recording this video in March of 2024. So I'm about 4 months free from video games. Just over 3 months actually, because it was the end of November and we're at the beginning of March. So 3.5 months approximately for the last time I played a video game. So if you're experiencing those negative consequences, let's take some action and do something about it. And one of the first actions that we really truly have to do is just raise our hand and ask for some help. So I really hope that you ask yourself these 10 questions. Discover for yourself, do I have a video game addiction? Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Please, if you've gotten anything out of this video, anything out of my content, please send me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. Every time you do that, it will help me to reach those who might need to hear this. And if I can just reach one person who needs to hear this video and watch this video, then all this effort that I've done, it will be worth it for me. So remember, be kind to yourself and everyone around you, because you never know what other people are going through. And for me, the game is over.